Okay, what we have here is a pair of Motorola radios. We have the SM50 UHF 40 watts mobile. It's got the 16 pin header, pigtail. They even were kind enough to give me the screws. Does work, already programmed it to where I want it. And I have this Motorola Maratrac, which I'm going to go through and reprogram to match this one. Now, I was given the task of using these two radios and make a repeater, an intermittent duty repeater for GMRS. Now, of course, I'm going to turn down the Maratrac down to about 40 watts. Okay, we're not going to be putting 100 watts into that band. You know, the owner of this equipment is licensed, and I have no problem helping him. He's helped me with things in the past pertaining to PA systems. I do have an official service man. This is for a low band, but I'm not worried about the receiver or anything here. This is a 450, 470. We're just going to look at this for some pinouts. Actually, I already know where the pinouts are, but I do have the manual if I need it. And this low band is, you know, if I wanted to tune a receiver or transmitter, but I know this transmitter works and everything is fine. So I do have a book if it's necessary. And of course I have a Motorola box and the cable, and I also have a box of control heads and cables for this radio, which I will be digging out. And I'm going to get this set up on the bench, and I will be right back. Okay, for the sake of the video, there's no speaker connected, so you're not going to hear me change channels and all that. But anyway, you'll hear that. We're going to be using this as a controller, and I'm going to do away with... Actually, I probably could put that right in there and it would work. But that's for the receiver, or is that I may actually try this, plugging this straight into the port. It's got a RJ45 here. I may try to put that in there, plug it straight in, and then run the 16 pin to the SM50. That might work and be a hell of a lot easier than me trying to finagle pins. But the ideal is I gotta get all the other channels out, leave this one channel, turn off the beeps, and I gotta shunt some audio around, some B+, so the radio will turn on when power is applied. And I'm going to have it to where there's a common point to turn it on. So with my handy dandy programming cable, I'm trying to dial all this in for you, but this will go right here. And I think I might have this program on this computer, but we're gonna see. I hope I do. I can't remember if I have it on here or not. Max Maratrac, here we go. So there's Maratrac. I don't know how well this is going to run. SNE key. Let's make sure we're on the right port. Looks good. Here we go, 3 and 2. Okay, so it's going to read, apparently. It's going to do it slow, I think, in blocks. I'm having to hold this camera. So it's reading the radio now. This is an old program. Thank God I have old computers. I don't trust things like DOSBox and emulated OSs to do this. I just don't trust that stuff. I will spend extra money on an old computer even though people think they're worth money now. Okay, we got it programmed. 4 and 5. Okay, see, he's already got a repeater on here, but alright, so I'm gonna put this back down and I'm gonna get the channel squared away and I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. Got everything programmed. We got one channel here. Everything else has been disabled for the most part. Got the receiving radio on. The RIC is powered on. And this is easier than I expected it to be. All that's going to be left is to make one of these into like a dongle for power and eliminate the control head. And I have the walkie-talkie on. There it is. One, two, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You could hear it kicking back. So it's easier than I actually thought it was to get this thing working. There's going to be more work involved mounting it in a case. I guess the next step is to get one of these, probably this one, I don't know, one of these, take it apart, circumcise all this, make some jumpers, eliminate that control head, and see what happens from there. So I'm going to get this off the radio, get everything buttoned up there, and start working on that next. Real quick, I'm trying to work out how to put the lid back on with something plugged into this. This lid, and I know you probably can't see crap. Where's my option menu? Turn the thing on. Hold on. Alright, I'm back real quick. Ran into a little snag. I just actually saw this. I thought about it while I was disconnecting all the power, the control head cable here. I put the lid back on. I'm not going to be able to plug that thing in. So I'm looking like I need to figure out what to do about this. And I think I have the remedy with this bit. So I can punch a hole in it and be able to plug the cord straight through this, if I can do it without messing up that right there. Hopefully I can. Not sure though. Anyway, well, and have an omelet unless you break a few eggs, right? Okay, so I'm thinking X marks the spot. I'm going to use the radio as leverage, try to get this. This is cast aluminum. It shouldn't be too hard to do. Make it as big as I can. Let's make sure I get all this aluminum all over my chair. Let me get the vacuum in here, I think. This. Oh yeah. Wasn't exactly thought through, but it worked. I got a vacuum cleaner I can get all this up with. There's no sense in even wearing gloves here because they just rip. Tear, so okay. roll. So just down, and that looks like it might work on the rack cable. Put it down, put it in. Make them off center just a little bit here. Something's wrong with this handle. It won't lock. It might be broken. Alright, so off a little bit. I can try to clean that up. It's not going to be the prettiest thing in the world, but I don't want this in a bind either. It'll shut down like that, but it's going to tear the rubber up, and I don't want to tear any cables up or pinch anything off. So we'll try to clean this up, move it over just a little bit if I can. Can't all be winners, can they? Let's see how where that put us. I'm starting to get into that big chunk over there. It's a little better, I guess. It's not perfect. It's perfect. Times when you wish you had a drill press handy. Just put it in the press and go. It looks like it might work. Looks like that might work. Yeah. So there's our transmitter cable to our RIC. It's just a mic cable. And if the radio ever needs to be changed for whatever reason, I'm going to use this plate. I could make that a little wider. Try. Oh, I think I'm having too much fun drilling on this thing. As far as I can go with it. And that stud. Cast aluminum. It's easy to drill. Not the prettiest thing, but this is all going to be in a case, in a rack. That gives it a lot more clearance now. So that could actually be taken out without taking the top off. So, okay, that's ready to rock and roll. That's ready to rock and roll there. Now, gotta figure out what pins are here, and that is not, unfortunately, that's not in my service manual, but I do have it. I do have it. Spray these good, spray that good. It's just contact cleaner, Lucas oil, contact cleaner, electrical stuff. Clean the pins up good. Should get good contact of these. I think this is the ground one. I think that's the emergency hook, and that's B+. There's also one that needs to jump over to simulate the control head being turned on. Is where I need to make a jumper. So we'll put the radio down for now. Get the cable here on the bench. There's the cable. Yeah, it's a Torx. I gotta go and find what it is. I'm not sure what size Torx that is. Do I have it in here? Maybe. This one. Yep, there it is. I try to keep all the common stuff in the head in the end of this little tool here. It's an old tool. It had some since I started radio IT. I'm going to pull this apart, and this is going to require the gun of solder and some good old lead-based solder. I might have to get another screw. Right. Okay, we're in like Flynn, but get this loose. Is that a 1/4 inch for that? Yes, it will. Repurposing these old radios. Okay, now we're gonna leave the black and the white. I mean the black and the red, black and white. Shit. Because that's our main power. And I am going to be putting a pigtail to plug in the SM50 off of this. So I'm probably gonna have to solder in here. But what I need to do is get this center screw out of the way. Damn soldering extractor handy either. It's okay. I can do it this way, do it the manual way. There's ring that holds that centerpiece in, let out. That, oh, it's a washer. Goes down in there. Okay, now what I'm going to do is, since I'm not getting any signals out of this, I need to cut this loose. Where's my knife? Where's my, oh, there we go. So I'm just going to cut this cable off, completely off, get it out of the way. Don't need it no more. Put it in the wire box with the rest of the stuff. Put on the soldering iron. Zip tie out. Pull that off. Pull that off. And I have an idea that that may be our control head B plus, but I'm not sure, so I've got to check this stuff. Pull all this rubber off, these little rubber pieces, because I got to desolder all these lines. As soon as I get them all free, the soldering iron gets good and hot, we'll start working on that. It's a really soft wire though. I mean, this could be very good for other things, other projects, other repairs. This wire right here, this is really soft. It's not stiff, crazy. Okay, so this one is the hook for the emergency feature of the radio. This is our high current line. I'm not really sure how I'm going to get that. I might just forego putting a pigtail on this because that would require a high temp soldering iron here, and I don't know, we'll go it, and it'll be fine without it. Damn soldering iron stand's not okay though, it's falling over. It's a hot soldering iron. Chinese, man, it's already coming apart on me. So, why don't I have slack here? What's going on? Huh. Caught up in the... I could just cut these off. What I'm going to do with this simulated control head B plus is wire it to a switch that will be on the cabinet, and that will turn everything on. It'll be a double pole switch. It will turn on the receiver as well. And I have one of those somewhere around here. cabinet is not here. It's being retrofitted with a bracket system to hold the radio pan in it, so it's not just floating loose in the cabinet. And when I say being retrofitted, the owner is cutting up a piece of wood and going to mount it in there for that. I'm not complaining. It's his radio. He can do it how he wants. I'm just doing the technicals. Selling him the Rick, of course. $200. That's my labor for this. Programming fee, special build and setup. I got a couple more $100 off of it. You know, it is a GMRS radio. It's not a commercial thing anymore. Can't use this stuff in the commercial band anymore. They don't like it. The secondary ground. I'm gonna have. Oh God, dog, that's hot. It's still hot down there. I'm gonna have to go and look up what pin I need here for the return. Almost. Gotcha. Okay, that's it. Cleaned up. Cleaned up. Alright, let's get this soldering iron back in its holder. Okay, that's it. Cleaned up. This is another ground. This heavy duty wire, man, I know it needs heavy duty 20 amp wire, but Jesus, you know, why so much? Didn't integrate this to be easy, and now it's all over the place. Got the wire box over there. I'll put all this in the wire box as well. So that is that. Now all that's left is, we'll be right back. I gotta go look the pin out of this online and see where I need to make a jumper for the alternate B+. I will be right back. Okay, I'm back, and got the power connection sorted. These two new lines are going to their own switch. Well, the black is going to chassis ground. This will go to a double pole switch. The receiver will be hooked in with this, and of course this is going to its own power source itself. The reason for that is with the switch, this line will turn on the Maratrac. So it will work. It will also turn on the receiver once that's done. And how to achieve that is pin 19, which is one of these big ones. This one here, constant B+, that's the big red. And pin 4 is the control head B+ return. Now the control head gets its power from the other end of its cable, this end of the cable, and it gets its power from this orange and green line. This is a crusty cable. So what we're doing is we're basically doing that in here with this. That will simulate a control head turning it on. Since we don't need receive audio or anything from this, we don't have to make any more, because it's still only a transmitter, and we're going to be going through that RJ45 with that. So this is done. Got the ring, everything back in, cleaned it all up, tried to make it look okay, I guess. Put that in the box. What's next? I don't know what is next. I think what comes next more or less relies on the fact that I need the, I will now be needing the case, and the, I'll be needing the case and the switch. You know, I could use a switch similar to this. it's not going to be switching high current, and this will work fine. I would rather have a roundy type. If I can find an actual toggle switch, I may have to order one. There's a tiny toggle switch. That's a little too small. How many amps is this? It's a 3 amps AC. This one is 2 amp, 5 amp AC switch. I'm not switching a tremendous amount of power. It's only turning a receiver on. And it's turning on a control circuit, not a main power circuit for that other, for the Maratrac. So, yeah, you can see that by the other end of the control cable. There are switches here. Okay. I've got some big switches. I don't think they are here with me right now, but I do have them. And some double pole, single throw stuff. And basically what this switch is going to do, we have our plus and our minus line. This is our B plus. And this is our chassis ground negative on pin 19. Going to the radio. This is the radio, right? Radio. So that's going there. This is going there. Now, this is number 17. There's also a pin 13, which is control head ground. And it's tied in, going to tie in, actually it's going to tie in like that off the chassis ground. Over here, we have on the connector on the radio pin 4. Now this normally be coming from, you would have an ignition switch, you know, a little key car switch right there. That would go to control head and then do the big cable to 4, and that would turn on the rest of the logic circuitry in the radio. Well, what we're doing here with pin 4 is we're breaking it there, and we're going to put in a switch. Now, the switch is going to do a couple of things because there's going to be another pole on that switch. This leg is going to the RX radio. This is the TX radio. That is going to tie in to the B plus, and that's how it's going to work. And this is all one switch, a double pole single throw switch. I know it's not the best diagram, but if you know about electronics, electricity, you know what I'm doing here. So in theory, I could make all of this relay controlled. I mean, one switch clicks a relay, turns the receiver on. But, and I may consider that, but I've got some double pole, regular toggle switches. You can drill a hole in the cabinet, mount it, wire it, terminal block if needed. Be done. And that's that. And that's all I have for this part of this video, because I don't have the cabinet yet to mount this stuff in. When I get the cabinet and everything, that'll be part 2, where I start mounting it, wiring it, and doing some tests. Like I said, everything is already together. The duplexer is already tuned for this particular unit. The controller, we've already tested that. It works right out of the box. We've programmed the radio. We've modified the control head cable for power and auxiliary, grounds, everything. We modified the transmit radio's lid to accept the RJ45 right front. And it's just a matter of getting the case back. The owner is supposed to be bringing that sometime soon, hopefully this next week. And I could get it all together and get it all fired up and get it on the air for the guy. Until then, I'm Alfie with Net Designs, and if you like the video, thumb it up, leave a comment, suggestions, all that below. If you haven't already, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.